the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one, only one. I was an ordinary boy until I broke the rules. My life destroyed, my life destroyed. Until I walk awake, scream my mind, I shout, the ground shakes. How much can I take? My mind will break. Will it break? Can I take? Can I be your superhero? Superhero. Can I be your superhero?
Well, good morning, everybody. I missed you so much yesterday. Ooh, that makes me sound like a liar. Yes, I did miss you. I did miss you. But I was so busy, so busy. My granddaughter, she was just born on Saturday, and she was teaching me how to convert algebra into calculus because, well, she's a genius, okay? She truly is. She is the prettiest baby ever. And there was just one thing after another going on. Oh my gosh, Sister Karen. Brooks, good morning. Can we please say a prayer for Connie? She died 2 years ago today. Our friend, Connie Branch. I'm going to mute myself. And if everyone can please say a prayer for Sister Karen. We already know where Connie Branch is. I cannot believe it's been 2 years. What a family we are here. 2 years since I found out that our friend Connie passed away. And I called Susan, just me, and she's like, no way, no way, no way. And like 2 months before, we had just lost Debbie Dunning. And we miss them. We do. But we know that they have bigger things to do. Good morning, Jana. What's up, Jay Woody? So, did you guys keep up with what was going on yesterday? This is becoming more and more and more obvious as to what's really going on. It truly is. Before I get to my take on it, let's go ahead and tell everybody good morning. As we know, this was released on Tuesday. The doorbell cam from the Nest that had no subscription. And they said it took all this time for the FBI to put together because of the terabytes. Bullshit. Bullshit. I can name case after case after case after case after case where even without a subscription, they had the shit in a quick and hurry and solved the case. This is ridiculous, and it's getting more scripted by the moment. I do not want anything bad to happen to Nancy Guthrie. It's at this point, it's almost like a weekend at Bernie's that she has passed away way before, and this is a distraction for things that they don't want us to think about or talk about. But anyway, for now, I'm going to play along. And as much as people might get irritated, I'm totally switching gears tomorrow. Totally switching gears.
Possible break in the abduction case of Nancy Guthrie as authorities released previously inaccessible surveillance footage of a masked person outside her Arizona home.
CBS's Andres Gutierrez.
If Tulsa Police Department can get things off an Arlo camera that has not been paid for 2 years within a day, do not tell me that the FBI, it took them all that time because of terabytes to find this. This looks like something James Cameron would produce. And I mean, don't get me wrong. The ending is going to make me look like a sack full of assholes because it's going to be spoon-fed to us perfectly. I mean, perfectly. Well, this is what happened. And we're just going to go, oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Has the late-breaking details from Tucson.
Law enforcement released these surveillance images and video recovered from back-end systems connected to cameras at Nancy Guthrie's home. Authorities say they show an armed individual appearing to tamper with the camera at her front door the morning she disappeared, February 1st.
The fact that he's wearing a mask, covering his hands, so he was ready. He did not want to leave DNA. He did not want his face recognizable.
It's taken the technology company and law enforcement.
Mm-hmm. The technology company has nothing to do with it. Law enforcement are putting together the terabytes. Okay. My question is, have they even thought about where the gloves and ski mask were bought? Because I'm telling you right now, in Tucson, Arizona, winter gear is not needed. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. These people are swimming on Christmas Day. Have they thought about that? Freaking Brian Koberger, they knew where he got the ninja outfit. He got it at Ross. It didn't take him long to figure out. It is not cold in Tucson. So it either had to be ordered offline which should be very easy to find. Find out where the gear came from first. Or how about take your own advice? You drop a rock in the water, and as it moves, then there's your crime scene. Hell, they knew shithead Adam Montgomery bought lime and a diamond saw at a Home Depot, and he did it with cash. Janice said, it certainly seemed to me it was a female in that outfit, not a man. I wondered that myself because I could tell someone had eyeliner on. It's what it looked like to me. But again, it's kind of sketchy. It's sketchy. True Crime Beat said, how did they just find a glove yesterday? They've had Border Patrol dogs around that house for days. These dogs can sniff through a semi-truck, but they just happened to find one black glove yesterday? Okey-doke. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. I really hope that nothing nefarious happened to her. B. Harley. So the glove has been sitting for 2 weeks and they just now find it. Crazy. Yeah, almost 2 weeks. Yeah. I don't care if it was 500. I don't care if it's 5 miles away. They have ran those dogs all over the place.
10 days to extract these images since Guthrie's cameras weren't connected to the cloud and didn't save recorded images. This comes as billboards with Guthrie's picture and information are popping up in Phoenix and even in Houston.
No matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement.
Former FBI hostage negotiator Chip.
Oh, no, B. Harley, no one's talking about politics here. We're just talking about, yet maybe another ruse that the mainstream media is throwing at us. Something here is not adding up. The smell test isn't working for me.
Massey says the latest broad appeal for help from Savannah Guthrie speaks volumes.
Pleading directly to the American people, that is a big indication that they no longer right now have faith in the abductors doing the right thing for them.
The FBI has set up a 24-hour command post here in Tucson and is now trying to identify the person in the surveillance images.
Typically, before they have more information, they're going to call him a subject. They're going to say, we want to talk to him. Then once they talk to him, they get more evidence together. At that point, it turns into person of interest and then suspect. That's the rung above that.
The FBI updated its missing person poster to include these new images, offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to Guthrie's recovery or the arrest and conviction of
$50,000 reward, which seems to be about their cap, and they never pay it out anyway. Don't get excited about that. Don't get your panties in a bunch over that. They just don't. They didn't even pay Car Wash Jim that much in the White case. Where Vicky White got Casey White out of jail, and they went on their love-capade up to Indiana. Yeah, they had a big bounty on them. Yeah, no one got it. That's the reason there was a GoFundMe. So could care less. $6 million is what the ransom was for. Now, according to TMZ and TMZ won't confirm the amount. That Bitcoin account has some moolah in it. Yeah. If you have the money accessible to you, why not just pay it and let the SEC and IRS track it?
Anyone involved in her disappearance. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Tucson.
Okay, I'm telling you. We heard last Saturday, we will pay. Okay. Monday, no one paid. Tuesday, oh, we got the terabytes to work, and we have these pictures of this person. And now, Nerdy Addict on X, who I like, said that there was a trespasser around, and he cleaned up the image, and there he is. I'm like, who is this person? These are very similar clothes. Now we have a new timeline. I got to pull it up over here. Give me a second. Guthrie was abducted from her Catalina Foothills home more than a week ago, prompting an intense investigation. Investigators have confirmed to News 4 Tucson that a search of the area was extended and a pair of black gloves were located. A pair, not just one. The gloves have been submitted for DNA analysis. As part of the ongoing effort to bring Guthrie home, Ring doorbell camera users in the foothills are being told that investigators are requesting footage from January 11 between 9 p.m. and midnight. There's also footage of interest from the morning of January 31st between 9:30 a.m. and 11 a.m., as there was reportedly a suspicious vehicle on Via Entrada around 10 a.m. Homeowners in the foothills are urged to check their footage before it's overwritten. Then you check it. Why would they do your work for you? They want this solved as well. They do not want to be in a neighborhood where people are breaking in and grabbing people out of the house and holding them for Bitcoin. That is a whole new bag of worms, if you know what I mean. Here he is again. They're saying this is the trespasser they've been talking about from earlier in January. And now they want footage from January 31st, thinking that this person could have been stalking the home, just waiting for the right opportunity. Don't know. Stranger things have happened. Yep. Curious Country Girl in January. Yep. Well, I mean, she went missing February 1st.
Continue following breaking news out of Tucson, Arizona. The FBI just releasing both a series of photos along with a video of what they are calling a potential subject in the Nancy Guthrie case. Not suspect, subject. Let's get right out to senior national correspondent Brian Enton, who is in.
Hold on. Rexy has a question. Where did this info come from? Hold on. This came from News 4 Tucson. News 4 Tucson. And as far as the puppy dog, I heard that he went over the Rainbow Bridge in December. But again, yeah, can't keep everything straight in this case. And that's a very good point, True Crime Beat. The trespasser also walked around with a flashlight in his mouth.
the Tucson area for us, joins us live on the phone. Brian, this seems to be a really big deal here.
Yeah, I mean, this is massive. This is the biggest development that we have had since this case broke open. Now that we have these photos, and I mean, they're terrifying, Nicole. You know, when they said they were going to release a surveillance photo, I was thinking maybe something from a gas station or something like that. I had no idea that they were going to be able to get the photos and video off of the Ring camera, the Nest camera, I'm sorry, which apparently if you back end ways, Kash Patel tweeted out that they were able to work with Nest and recover these photos. You see that the guy is totally covered from head to toe. He's in a mask. He's got gloves on.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play along. Could it be the same person? You know, a neighbor? The guy that we saw out there, and he had on like a big sun hat, and he said he had been painting his roof. He talked about a trespasser. And they're investigating that. Could it be the same person? I'm telling you right now, people do not wear ski masks and all the shit that this person had on in Tucson, Arizona. Does it get chilly in the desert in the evening? Sure. But you don't need to be covered head to toe. You just don't. Barb, do you think she's alive? I don't see how she could be at this point. Let's say she truly was kidnapped. Let's just say she was kidnapped, as they keep saying. They say that she has medication that she has to take. She has to take it. Exactly right, Rexy. You proved my point. You do. You do if you don't be recognized. So trace back where the shit came from. That's their job. Even our dude, News Daddy, knows that.
Tweeted out that they were able to work with Nest and recover these photos. You see that the guy is totally covered from head to toe. He's in a mask. He's got gloves on. Clearly, it seems like this was a professional who knew exactly what they were doing. You can see what appears to be a gun and a concealed holster near the waist. And just now, Savannah Guthrie has posted on Instagram these photos. And she also said, we believe our mother is.
You want to hear some really stupid shit? Since they keep talking about the gun in the holster, okay? They're like, oh my God, that explains the blood. Oh my God, that explains the blood. Now we understand the blood. OMGGG. Let me tell you, if this person actually shot her, there would not be little droplets of blood. Okay? Anyone ever watch a trial? Anyone ever watch, a documentary about what an actual crime scene looks like when someone has been pew-pewed? No. I'm telling you, the internet is making people dumber by the day. Pat K, I never thought about that. The blood was not even walked on. That's one thing Dan Bongino brought up. He said it's not smeared. It's not anything. It's droplets. As in, you scraped your arm and you have some droplets there.
Still alive. And honestly, that's the first thing I thought when I saw these. I mean, it looks so professional. When we were starting to sort of discount the kidnapping ransom theory, then you see these photos, and it seems to almost back that up now that this may have been a very sophisticated professional kidnapping, Nicole.
Brian, what was the latest that you saw at the house? What was going on out there?
So it's been quiet at the house, but what's interesting is in these photos, and there's also video that has now been released, you see the suspect, and I think we're I think we can confidently say suspect now. I mean, why else would this guy show up to Nancy's house looking?
Barb Murray, Babs. Hey, what happened to your membership? Hang on. You're one of our first members. Oh my gosh. YouTube is always messing up. What are the lights in the background, house or car? Well, I mean, you tell me, because they said that the floodlights were taken. No floodlights. However, now we have the terabytes back, and we have something that looks like the Blair Witch Project. Oh my, Angel P, what are you doing? Spanking time for Ange. Get your umbrellas, because it's raining members.
Like this, armed with a gun, but you see him pick up some like brush, like some flowers, some like pull off part of a bush right there. And it's so interesting because when we went up to the door and saw the blood, we also saw that that little the little piece of the bush that he had picked off. And I don't know what he was using that for, if he was trying to use it to cover the camera or use it to pull off the cameras. I don't think he'd be concerned about thumbprints because he's got his glove on. But that little piece of like weeds and brush that he picked up was actually still on the ground. I remember seeing it when we went up to the door and got video of the blood.
Oh, that is really interesting. So, Brian, as of right now, the sheriff is saying that there...
To me, they look like bells off a yucca, which grow predominantly in Arizona. Arizona is my jam. I love Arizona. If it wasn't for my granddaughter, I would be in Arizona. No allergies. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Very, very nice weather, you know, stuff like that. It's just great. Barb Murray said, had to make a new account and lost last membership. Well, thank you for the super sticker. And thank you to Sophia, making the fam grow. Again, grab your umbrellas. And as far as her getting pistol whipped, one whipping. One, and I don't mean a bullet, that'd be enough to kill an 84-year-old lady. And here's the thing. I'm asking you. I'm going to put the link down because I want to know what you think. What would be the motive? Who would have anything to gain? Who breaks into someone's house? I'm not saying I've ever even contemplated it. Just to take a golden girl and propagate legacy in mainstream media for 12 days and not get anything out of it. Somebody is getting something out of this. And if money is the motive, then you should have paid last Thursday, a week ago today, or you should have paid on Monday.
Will be no press conferences. And as I was just speaking with the former FBI agent before you here, we saw numerous press conferences at the beginning of this case in the first few days when Nancy Guthrie went missing, when there really didn't seem to be a lot of information that was being provided. Yet here we have now this new video, we have these new images. What is really compelling, truly actually terrifying, as you said, to think of somebody showing up at your front door with a gun, a mask, gloves, and trying to obstruct the view of your doorbell camera. Do we know if that will change when it comes to a press conference? Is there any inkling that we will get some update from law enforcement today?
Yeah, I would imagine there would have to be at some point. The fact that they just put these photos out without any real explanation or press conference did kind of surprise me, because we don't really know the full context behind them or why they decided to put them out right now. At the same time, they do sort of speak for themselves. I mean, this again, what I first thought when we got the source saying that there was going to be a surveillance photo coming out this afternoon, I assumed it was going to be something from the gas station, just something sort of generic. I had no idea that this is what they were going to release, because again, they told us that Nancy did not have a subscription for her Google cameras, and so there was no way to recover the video. So we just assumed that those cameras were not going to be helpful at all. But apparently there is a back end way that the FBI has in collaboration with Google, where somehow these images were saved, which is really incredible when you think about it. Because
Certainly is. Let's please welcome to the channel our great friend True Crime Beat. Do not even think twice. Please hop, skip, and jump. Don't go watch her channel right now, but subscribe.
Hey, y'all.
You go ahead and you tell me what you think. Somebody asked, who is Savannah's husband? Her husband is Michael Feldman. Let me pull the article up quick.
Former scrubber for the Clintons. You know, the more I think about it, this has got to be a distraction. It has to be. I mean, it's not money, because they've been, there's money in there now, it's sitting there.
Like $300, and no one's taking it.
So it's got to be a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. Could it be the Epstein files? Could it be a distraction from the Olympics to keep Savannah away? I don't know. I mean, there's some sort of reasoning that this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, and it's sad, because, this 84-year-old woman who, I don't think that she had anything to do with it, except she just was the picked target for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was because of Savannah, maybe, or something. But I don't know.
Let's read.
Weird.
This was copy and pasted by a woman named Sheila Sperlin that she got from the Washington Post. Savannah Guthrie is in the Epstein files. No, she's not a pedo. No, she wasn't on the island. She is mentioned in several emails. Why? Because her husband, his name is Michael Feldman. He was a scrubber. That is the guy who got things harmful to the Clintons off the press, off the internet, and out of the public eye. When I saw this, I about fell off the couch laughing, because I was like, I guess somebody forgot about Matt Drudge, because Matt Drudge put everything out. Matt Drudge called out Monica Lewinsky. He was right. Matt Drudge called out Epstein. He was right. Matt Drudge called out everything. He talked about an entire network. Okay, so he founded a PR consulting firm with Joe Lockhart. Joe Lockhart was Bill Clinton's White House press secretary. Fact check any of this. After Lockhart left the government, he became a senior partner at the Glover Park Group, which was co-founded by Savannah's husband. Joe Lockhart sold his D.C. property on Belmont Road, Washington, D.C. to the Obamas. Again, fact check away. Glover Park then made Greg Rothschild, and as you know in the Epstein files, there was two people that Epstein wanted to kill. He wanted to take the Trump family, and he wanted to take down the Rothschild family. Now, a lot of people are saying where the line was crossed is when NBC allowed Savannah to interview Epstein victims, and they were paid a lot to be on that show, and they deserve it. I have no problem with that. But I mean, they didn't pay Arnold Drummond that back in 1983 to come on the show. Hell, I mean, Kathy Lee Gifford didn't make that her entire time being with NBC. Glover Park then made Greg Rothschild the managing director of the group's government affairs division. Okay, this is true. This is true. The Rothschilds are adamantly against Hollywood. Okay, they are against a lot of stuff, and it really was. I'm going to say it was ruffling some feathers. Then Rothschild's wife Stephanie died in a bizarre traffic accident in 2021. Something that could not be solved.
So I don't know, Brooks. It's a cover up though of some sort or distraction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's not as clear cut, and that's why I've been saying from the beginning, which you've been saying too. There's something's not right with this. This doesn't pass the test, and then they said that the camera footage, which was still odd, but then they go, "Oh, we found a glove." Now they found two. I'm like, okay, like 11 days later, for real? I mean, you guys have been all over that damn place. I mean, and then somebody said they found the ski mask too somewhere. I read that, and I don't know if that was.
I haven't heard anything about that. Kimberly Deaney said, "Wonder where Jenna Bush comes in." Well, Jenna Bush, why they were testified in front of Congress yesterday about her grandpa, George Bush Sr., and Bill Clinton chasing naked girls around the woods in Kennebunkport, Maine, after Bill Clinton beat him for president. Go ask her that, because she had like 2 seconds to get that job and become who she is. Okay, so yesterday, here we are. There is another Bitcoin, Shannon. By the way, super chats are always appreciated. Okay, they are. I love your comments. I need some likes. We only have 105 people in here right now.
Hit the thumbs up.
Give a thumbs up. And I am going to start a Bitcoin account right now. And I just need, actually, if 6 of you can send me a Bitcoin, how many should I ask for? How many should I ask for?
I don't understand the whole Bitcoin thing. I'm like, I guess I'm old. We're old, right? So they said 1 Bitcoin equals so many dollars, though. So I guess it's like a different kind of currency. But it doesn't become anything until you move it in or out. So it's not like a dollar. Like one does not make a dollar. So how many Bitcoins is 1?
I don't know. Don't ask Aunt Sherry about it, because I mean, she was up here trying to explain it one day, and I think she had them confused with like Chuck E. Cheese tokens. It was ridiculous. I had more comments about Bitcoin and what Aunt Sherry said than anything. I'm like, listen, I really don't care, because I don't deal in that.
I know. I'm like, I don't do that.
Okay, so another demand was made yesterday.
In the desperate search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, who vanished 11 days ago from her home in Tucson, Arizona. Lawyer and TMZ creator Harvey Levin says he received a letter from someone saying they know who the kidnapper is. He'll give up that information for 1 Bitcoin. So much is driving this case to new intensity right now, this hour. And we've already seen just in the last few hours.
Okay. I'm seriously playing Alex Jones right now. I'm seriously playing QAnon right now.
Okay.
So, as in the files, we know Pizzagate's real. Okay. We know it. We were told by a certain network that, these are just emojis. That just means grown men are getting together and eating pizza, Chinese cookies, beef jerky, and grape soda. Okay.
Okay.
That's what we were told. Like, you're so stupid to even think about that.
Well, we know that's what we read on the internet too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, oh, okay. Couldn't imagine. The whole time I was just thinking, who would sit there and eat beef jerky, pizza, and grape soda?
What is that, like a college kid? High school kid?
I mean, I don't give a rat's ass if I don't. Good God, I couldn't even eat that. I mean, Lord, I'm just like, okay, whatever. We know what those things mean now. But there was a lot of Bitcoin trading going on. Okay, so for one party, you need this. One party, you need this. One party, you need this. And there was a ton of Bitcoin trading. And when you would go to a certain country, it converts into a totally different currency.
Okay.
Hours, less than 24, searches in a border town in Arizona, Rio Rico, and in Tucson. Scores of local law enforcement and the FBI's elite hostage unit engaged. And that video of a person caught on camera at Nancy Guthrie's home, perhaps the kind of evidence that could lead to finding the now famous mom of NBC host Savannah Guthrie. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. TMZ founder Harvey Levin revealing that new development in the case on our air at Fox just an hour ago.
We got kind of a bizarre letter, an email from somebody who says they know who the kidnapper is and that they have tried reaching Savannah's sister Annie and Savannah's brother to no avail. And they said they want 1 Bitcoin sent to a Bitcoin address that we have confirmed is active. It's a real Bitcoin address. As they put it, time is more than relevant. So we have no idea whether this is real or not, but they are making a demand. It's interesting that, Bitcoins fluctuate in value, but it's around $56,000 now, 1 Bitcoin, which is about the amount that the authorities are offering for information leading to the return of Nancy.
Okay, so it's 1 Bitcoin's $56,000. Okay.
As of yesterday, when this came out.
Oh, okay. So it changes value like the stock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Jay Woody was saying, it changes value all the time. As of yesterday, 1 Bitcoin was that amount. Then pay them.
Well, somebody has that. Somebody has it.
What is going on? What is going on?
Damn.
And I'm in bizarro world. What is TMZ doing on Fox News?
I don't know, but Harvey looks like he really needs to take a nap or something. I don't know. He needs a shower. Looks really bad.
I'm not buying it. Said William and Kate will turn the monarchy around. They down with the spare and his bent and pretend family. Charles is no king.
What does that have to do with Nancy Guthrie?
Well, I mean, have you read any of the Epstein files?
Not really. I'll be honest
Well,
with you.
then don't be asking me questions you should know the answer for.
I did hear that a lot of us are probably in there though, Brooks, because we had our photos taken at school from the Life Touch. So apparently all of us might have photos in there as kids. So we could all be in there.
I've been getting on the website quite a bit. You can put in any name. And lo and behold, I put in LKR. And someone named LKR, in quotes, was doing very, very, very bad things in Sri Lanka.
Oh, dear God. Mm. We should put our names in there and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, no. Fuck no. If you want me to, I'll look your name up.
Oh, no, it's okay.
I don't know if that aligns, but whoever sent this, and they actually give a name and an email address.
Investigators now also, in addition with that new information, they're urging the public to take a close look at the video you see on your screen right now. It has gone viral across many platforms around the world. Please look up at your screen if you haven't seen the lengthy video. Doorbell camera video recovered by the FBI shows a masked, armed individual outside Nancy Guthrie's home in the darkness where she was taken by force. The images show someone with a ski mask, backpack, and what looks to be a handgun around his waist. Officials say they believe Features like his jawline, the way he walks, and his eyes could be some vital clues. Savannah Guthrie is pleading with the public. Someone out there recognizes this person. Bring her home. The Guthrie family says they do not recognize the person in the video. FBI Director Kash Patel joined Hannity last night.
We have made substantial progress in these last 36, 48 hours thanks to the technical capabilities of the FBI.
Okay, substantial progress. That's great. Hey, Sailor, what's up? Oh, Emma with Crime Story Success, she has it solved. A guy that's been detained in Arizona, I believe in Nogales, waiting for ICE to deport him back to Ecuador. She is saying the same person. Well, he's been under detainment for I can't tell you how long, waiting for ICE to take him back to his home country to serve his time there. Okay. Yeah, so it just doesn't seem plausible. But it's interesting what you said, True Crime Beat, about how the trespasser, which Nerdy Addict has been talking about, and this guy was also walking around with a flashlight in his mouth.
Yeah, I caught that right. I was like, oh, you're right. And I was like, look at it. I was like, more stare at it. Yeah, Nerdy Addict is where I follow. Yeah, he seems to get some information. Good guy. And Kash Patel, man, I don't know, man. That substantial progress. Well, that's awesome, Kash Patel. Okay. I'm not impressed by them, but okay.
You don't know.
Partnership. I do believe we are looking at people who, as we say, are persons of interest. But as you know, with any investigation, you are a person of interest until you're either eliminated or you're actually found to be the culprit or the culprits involved. And that's the stage we're at right now.
Former FBI Assistant Director Chris Swecker is standing by. And we begin with our senior correspondent, Alicia Acuna, who has the latest on Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson, Arizona. Alicia.
Hi, Harris. And FBI Director Kash Patel also said that they continue to recover images and footage from Nancy Guthrie's home. So it's possible we're going to see more of these releases. And NBC News is reporting that when the Guthrie family was shown this footage, they did not recognize the subject. Now it's in the public's hands. Authorities hoping something about the way this person walks or moves, the look in the eyes, will strike them as familiar, and they will call a tip line. The FBI says when they released these photos and these videos of this person walking up to Nancy Guthrie's front door, the number of tips coming in on this case increased significantly. Overnight, investigators detained and then released a man by the name of Carlos in Rio Rico, Arizona. That is south of Tucson. He is a delivery driver in Tucson and told our Matt Finn he did not know if he had ever delivered to Nancy's house. Sheriff and
Okay, I'm going to come right back to that, because when they detained Carlos, which, by the way, is 100% legal, I don't care what anyone says, they can detain Shannon. They can detain Jana. They can detain just me, Mau. They are 100% allowed to detain you for questioning, okay? The minute his mother-in-law talked, now for one, I didn't like her tone because I thought, you know, if it was your fat ass that was missing, you would have a different tone. You would have a totally different tone. You know, all hands on deck when you're looking for a missing person of a certain class. Okay, let's just go ahead and say it like it is. That's the truth. True. If this was a true kidnapping and a true ransom, this would have been done and over way over a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ashley Banfield is still not backing down. Now look at this. Here's Carlos.
Straight to a Fox News alert overnight, police releasing a man after detaining and questioning him in connection with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie.
And just a few hours ago, local and federal officials wrapping up a court-ordered search at a home in Rio Rico, Arizona, That's about an hour away from Nancy Guthrie's house in Tucson and about 15 miles from the U.S.-Mexico border.
This all comes after the FBI released home security video of an armed and masked man approaching Guthrie's home the night she was abducted 11 days ago. You are watching Fox and Friends First on this Wednesday morning. I'm Carly Showguess.
And I'm Todd Pyro. Let's go right to Matt Finn, live in Rio Rico. And he has a new interview with the man who was just released by investigators, heard for the very first time on Fox. Matt.
Good morning, guys. Not only is it quiet here right now, it's pitch black. There was a search here earlier tonight. There were investigators, the blue and red lights, police tape up, what appeared to be, a very controlled, intent search. And then all of a sudden, investigators left, and we spoke to a man who identified himself as Carlos. He told us that he was the man who was detained for questioning.
Again, I know a lot of people don't like it. And they're like, oh my God, that person doesn't do anything. You just can't. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can question anyone. You're law enforcement. FFS. Big T, thank you for the super sticker. And what are you doing? Thank you, Brad. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I'm a grandma now. Did I tell you? Yeah.
And the baby's the cutest little thing.
Aww. Oh. Okay. Should I do like a breaking news and let everybody know? I didn't realize I hadn't mentioned it.
Maybe you should, just so you can, yeah, you could do it.
Big T, we must get baby K security quick. Well, she has it, trust me. Rexy said Lana of TNT gave him the name of the attorney. I thought she put an attorney to get Chris Watts a new hearing so he could tell what really happened. He's also the person that put the trans person on that said person was the one responsible for killing the 4 beautiful people in Moscow, Idaho. And the same person said that Dylan is a transvestite. So I don't know about her.
In a traffic stop in relation to the Nancy Guthrie case, he says he is a free man and has nothing to do with Nancy's disappearance. Here is our interaction with Carlos.
Okay. What were they asking you about?
Where my whereabouts.
Okay.
Where do I work? Where was I and all that? But
are you ever up in Tucson?
Yeah, I work in Tucson.
What do you do?
GLS, deliver packages.
Okay. Do you think you might have delivered a package to Nancy Guthrie's house?
I don't know. Might have been a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you ever deliver like Amazon packages or anything?
Well, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyone ever had an Amazon package delivered?
Like they really remember everywhere they go. I mean, really? Come on.
They might have 17 houses in one neighborhood. Sometimes U.S. Postal Service brings it. Okay?
Like, I don't know. Poor guy. I don't know. Maybe.
They don't come in for coffee and a cookie and say, let me look around. They drop the shit off, they scan, and they leave.
They're busy. DHL,
FedEx, UPS, USPS, they all deliver for Amazon. DHL has been a failing freight company for a very long time. And now they're in the Amazon game.
So do you think you may have, did they indicate that you might have been on her property? You're not sure?
Nah, they just came up. They until right now, all I know is that they show my in-law a picture of somebody wearing a mask or something, and they supposedly look like my eyes.
Right. Okay.
That's it. That's all I know.
So that man says he works in the Tucson area. He delivers packages. We try to clarify if he was ever at Nancy Guthrie's house. He wasn't sure. And he says investigators showed him a picture of a person in a mask. So we believe that is, perhaps one of the surveillance photos that was released yesterday of the person in the mask at Nancy Guthrie's house. Ultimately, Carlos told us he was questioned, asked about his whereabouts. They took his phone, and that's it. He says he's a free man. He wants his name cleared. He doesn't want to be associated with the Guthrie case. So it's not quite quite clear what investigators got from this search. Perhaps they'll be able to extract something from his cell phone, or I don't know, perhaps DNA. Back to you guys.
Wow, Matt, I mean, fantastic job on getting that interview. And you're one of the only people.
Okay, according to New York Post, Carlos, yes, we know his full name, but I can't pronounce it, is no longer a person of interest. Guess who they haven't said is no longer a person of interest?
Son-in-law?
Beard.
Beard, yeah. Anyone else, really?
They haven't mentioned anyone else. But poor old Carlos, they're like, oh, no, like we don't need anything else with him. Hell, he drove home in the car that they towed.
Jeez. Yep.
And sometimes people at certain levels will pull what we call wag the dog to save their reputation. Because it looks really bad that you're the Today Show host and your brother-in-law and maybe one of his bandmates, who, by the way, looks exactly like the dude that walks up. Same soul patch. Just give it to God and let it go away type of thing.
To so far speak to him after this night that he's had with law enforcement. Just your sense on who he is, and did anything strike you about him, his willingness to speak to you? What are your thoughts on him as a person?
Yeah, so I talked to one of the neighbors, and they say that he's a part of a family group that lives here. And shortly after investigators got here, a woman came out from the house as well, who identified herself as Carlos's mother-in-law. And she said, look, we've kind of loosely heard of this Nancy Guthrie case, but we're not following it. And she actually said that investigators told her that they were tipped off that Nancy Guthrie was being held here. And this is what she said on camera. And she goes, there's no one here. Feel free to enter. So she seemed pretty transparent. A lot of times people claim they don't, know anything about a case. Maybe they do. But Carlos seemed the same way. He said, look, I told him I have nothing to do with this. You could enter my home. You could do whatever you would like. He seemed pretty forthright. Afterwards, the Pima County Sheriff's Department said that this search had been wrapped up and they had not identified Carlos as a suspect. They had not arrested him, had not taken him into custody. So, at this hour, he remains a free man. Perhaps that will change based on his cell phone or some other evidence they, removed from this search.
Dear God, for all we know, it could have been Dawn and Candace Wells. They're like, oh, that could change. No, they clearly said he is no longer a person of interest. They had questions for him. Hence why you detain someone and you ask them questions. So these idiots that keep going, he's got to sue. This has got to stop. Oh my God, these Gestapos. I feel like I'm living in Nazi Germany. You cannot just bring someone in and question them. And I'm like, it's an investigation, and it happens all the time. It is.
Yep. All right, I got to pop down because I got to do some work.
Okay, you guys, don't forget to subscribe to True Crime Beat.
Night, but in general, it seems like if they had something that directly linked Carlos to, the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, a case that is getting worldwide attention, Carlos would not be a free man at his home tonight, but perhaps that'll change.
Did Carlos, in those sort of that eye contact that you can only have with somebody when you're on scene, we really can't get that sense just from watching on the video. Did he give you a sense that he thinks he is in the clear?
Here's the question. I'm going to ask Susan, because Susan's been around the block a few times, and she doesn't buy bullshit. She just doesn't. Why did they release to the world that they brought in Carlos and detained him You see, there's no public record. There's no inmate roster because he has not been arrested. Why did they let everyone know we have detained this man to question him? You're telling me in all this time you've had no one else in detainment to question. You didn't detain Savannah. You would have had to have, even though she was in New York City at the time. Don't even tell me you didn't detain, which does not mean arrested. You didn't detain Beard. That was never put out. What about Annie? What about Cameron? What about the housekeeper? What about the pool cleaner? What about the landscaper? What about all the Uber drivers? That is all called detainment. No one just answers a phone like a spam call and just gives you the info. There's a certain protocol and procedure for it. Why is this the only man they're telling us has been detained and questioned? And I just no. This was released by the media. Because somebody puts it on YouTube doesn't mean NBC, CBS, ABC, and all the talking paid heads on the cable news stations are going to run with it. They don't really like to give credit to people with cell phones.
And this is all done with regard to Carlos, with the exception of the phone, which I believe you reported is still in the possession of law enforcement.
Yeah, and you know, he based on his eyes and the surveillance photos, I would say, you know, there are some similarities, and his stature may be the same, like his height and build. So, you know, just connecting some of the dots, is it possible he resembles the person in that surveillance photo? Yes, that is possible. And he said that investigators perhaps indicated as much. But, you know, he told us that, you know, he wasn't booked, he wasn't processed. They didn't ask him to, you know, come to the station tomorrow or anything like that. I mean, it seems like he was entirely released and is free.
All right, Matt Finn, live for us in Rio Rico, Arizona, doing the hard work on the ground there. Matt, thank you very much. Let's bring in former FBI investigator Bill Daly. Bill, thank you so much for joining us. What do you make of the detainment and release of this man, and where you believe this case stands today?
Well, first of all, Carly, it's not that uncommon in investigations that people are certainly interviewed. It sounds as though in this case there was perhaps some other kind of tip that was received, and it's not that uncommon in cases where you're asking for the public's help, where someone perhaps has a, as Matt suggested, kind of a similar look. Perhaps maybe people thought that you know, there was some connection with the home. Perhaps also authorities, as they started to maybe quickly look at the lead that was maybe called in. They said he checked a couple of boxes, maybe because of the job he said is delivering packages. So, you know, it's not that uncommon.
You know, for all I know, Cash Patel was watching our show, because how many times have I brought up the Amazon package that was still sitting outside? When people say YouTubers follow him around, it could have been Carlos that delivered that Amazon package, and they tracked it back to him. Angel P said, "Oh, wow, he's pale. My eyes. LOL. For real. I don't think he's ever visited Arizona in February. For real. I had to turn down the lights in here."
Common that, you know, police, especially when a tip may also include the fact that, you know, Nancy could be there being held against her will, which is found not to be the case, they would act in this fashion. So I think there are many, many more leads out there, and the ones that they need to react to are the ones that have that credibility. Not everyone that calls in or says that they saw someone or the person down the street, you know, they're going to go and either detain or maybe look at seriously. It's going to require a couple of more check marks next to their profile.
Yeah, to that end, Bill, Cash Patel said they were looking at persons, plural, of interest. Is that just a figure of speech, or do you think he means?
His words, not mine. Persons, plural. But again, the mainstream media, and I'm not pulling the race card, okay, only told us about the guy they know could not have done it. Jules said, this case be driving me nuts. How come they didn't tell us? If YouTubers are following them everywhere, why didn't they tell us before Ashley Banfield did that the son-in-law had been heavily spoken to? Because people hate the word detained. On Sunday, again Sunday night, Monday morning, and again after the press conference. Why didn't they report that Annie's car had been towed and FBI was taking things out of her house? Those were pictures from Brian Enton. But they all told us. I mean, it was breaking news. NBC Tonight, NBC Evening News. This person has been detained for questioning, but you forgot to mention everything else. But that was important. Wow.
More than one person is being looked at in the context of eventually being labeled as a person of interest.
I think the director, certainly is very careful in his language, especially in a sensitive case like this. And I think, I think it would behoove all of us to think that that perhaps there may be other people involved, not just the person who we see showing up at the door in that surveillance video, but maybe there could be other people acting either with knowledge of or in concert of and support of this incident. So I think you need to kind of keep your kind of net wide and broad. Not to be focused in as an investigator, to kind of think you're kind of focusing in just laser on a couple of individuals, when in fact you may need to kind of dig a little bit further. Todd, interesting that video is certainly stunning, and there are so many leads that will come out of that. Some do take a little longer to kind of run down, whether it happens to be the dress of the person, the clothing, other aspects. And I believe we've been also told by some reporters that, in fact, there could be some other images out there that have not been released that authorities are looking at themselves. So this case is kind of rolling, it's boiling forward, and I think we're going to have some very positive results in the very near term.
Remarkable that the FBI cyber team was able to obtain this security video, and it took them a week to accomplish this goal. It has been suggested that because this person is wearing a mask, obviously we cannot see a majority of his face, but the suggestion is that there could be enhancements potentially done to this footage to get a clearer understanding of what he looks like. Do you believe that to be the case?
I do, Carly, and if I draw a little bit from my several years of experience in special photography at the FBI, I can tell you that certainly it was stunning and a great accomplishment. Kudos to the team and the private sector partners who helped kind of cull out these images, probably from, I would imagine, almost terabytes of data that were either unassigned or unallocated because this account was not active, as we know, wasn't being actively stored through some type of subscription. So, but going back to the images, I could tell you now, right, between being able to provide kind of a height, weight of the individual through kind of AI and other enhancements, you can kind of unfortunately we can't just remove the mask. We can't put something there that's not there, but you can start to provide some details around maybe the outline of the head or the face. We now know, or we believe, that this person has some facial hair. Those eyebrows are certainly distinctive, and eyebrows certainly reminiscent of the fact that many people call the Luigi Mangione case that took place in New York as being so significant that they were identified.
Okay, so they're taking the tent down now, probably because, like people have said, they have so many crazy people going around filming them and stuff. Savannah Guthrie did post. NBC Savannah Guthrie shared an emotional family update that resonated with viewers across the country and united the country. Oh boy, okay. Her openness and strength were widely appreciated, drawing heartfelt reactions on social media. Okay. I don't even know what to say about that. I need more context.
Fires of him, even when police came upon him in that McDonald's restaurant. So there are a lot of things going on, Carly, and I think as time goes along, in the next probably hours of this investigation, if not the day of the investigation, there's going to be a lot more that comes out, and I'm very confident that we're in a right glide path towards having this case solved.
Oh, that positivity is definitely hopeful,
Amen
especially
to that.
after the events of the last 2 hours. Former FBI investigator Bill Daley, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I'm Steve Duke.
Okay, I'm going to put the link down if Susan wants to come up, if Jay Woody wants to come up, because I want to have a little convo about what Savannah Guthrie put out. The math's not mathing for me, my friends. Something is way off here. Way off. All right, let's go to it. A lot of retired FBI is saying the door cam behavior totally clashes with the ransom notes. And these are people that are retired from the behavioral science unit. Hold on. Everyone, someone is knocking at the door. Who could it be? Take a guess. It's our girl, Susan. Susan, talk to me. What's going on? I know your brain's going a million miles an hour down the train track.
It is, and I've been down that damn rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. It's disheartening. I'm telling you, stuff I've seen, stuff I've heard, it's stuff nightmares are made of. And it's going on, and everybody knows. Hollywood knows. They all know.
They all know.
And they're all partaking in it. And they're eating children, babies. They have a baby farm in New Mexico they had. Little kids were impregnated. They were taking their babies. A doctor, a gynecologist, was telling these people, if you play the mother's voice, they nurse harder. Do you hear what I'm fucking saying? And then they're eating them.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
With these fucking people. And then they're calling, quit fighting with the left and right and let's stand up together. These are babies.
They are babies.
I can't.
B. Hurley said, just evil to hurt helpless elderly people. Here is my question. Like I referenced the movie Weekend at Bernie's. How do we know that something didn't happen to her? Let's say January 31st. She died in her sleep. Something like that. Okay. Annie, who lives 4 minutes away, walks over to the house. She takes the Uber back home. The son-in-law comes over, opens the garage door, shuts the garage door, and then we go from there.
But why? But why?
There's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason.
I'm telling you, the only thing that makes sense in my mind, do you see the mainstream media covering the Epstein files? All this nastiness?
No, I've been watching.
Think it was a shot across the bow to shut them up.
Nope.
Do you want your family to be next?
I've been watching it on C-SPAN, and it is gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not on the mainstream media where everybody gets their news.
B. Hurley said, what are you saying? Trump has something to do with this. It's ridiculous. No one's saying
We're not. No.
No, God, no. Him? God, no. He's too busy fighting with the governor of Oklahoma right now. But there is way too many people involved in one circle,
And it's not right or left. It's both.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you better believe that, baby. You better believe.
I'm so sick of the blame game. Oh, it's them. Oh, it's them. It's fucking both of them, and I'm sick of it.
Me too, girl. What did we talk about yesterday? I mean, I can't say it out loud on here because it's YouTube. I told you there's always going to. Well, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
So, I just don't. I think it's an inside job, but you have to remember their inside is way bigger than mine. For me, an inside job is my neighbor across the street coming over and helping me out. Yeah, I got someone across the street. Their inside job could be anyone.
And I know I sound crazy. I know I do. But my God, how else are they going to shut people up and nobody's going to believe? Don't you remember that actress that was yelling, they're eating people, they're eating people. And then she disappeared?
She got hit by a bus.
Convenient. And then you have the Wayfair ordeal and the Pizzagate that they all said we were crazy. You don't name a cabinet after a missing child and put it up for sale for $12,000 to $15,000.
Yeah, for like food tax.
And if you look on the website now, they're $139. Tell me we're crazy. I know we are, but we're not that crazy.
No, I believe
they want us to believe we're crazy.
I believe the woman years ago that came out and she was screaming. What I didn't believe is that she was hit by a bus because she didn't even have a broken bone.
Yeah.
I was like, that's odd. That's odd.
God help us. I don't think Michael Jackson was a pervert. I think he was trying to save them kids.
I couldn't agree with you more because when he took the stand himself, which is very rare in a case that someone gets up to defend themselves, he said over and over and over and over, I'm just trying to save the kids. Macaulay Culkin said on the Ellen Show, he goes, oh, I could write a book about what goes on. He said, but, my saving grace is I had Michael Jackson's protection.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all I need to know. I'm telling you.
And somehow Michael Jackson's doctor was involved with Epstein. Somehow or another. And he got 2 years?
Well, I mean, don't forget about, Tom Hanks and the Red Shoe Club.
I'm not sure about him. I'm not sure because there's fake stuff out there too. I've got to get more information on him yet. I'm not ready. I thought he was, but then I saw a lot of it had been doctored to make it look like people who were doing it. So I don't know about him.
I think it's crazy how one side says this is fine and the other side that the other one's guilty. So Michael Jackson is not guilty, but Trump is. Is someone saying that Trump's guilty in here? Please don't, because he is the president, and I would kind of like to not go to jail or be detained today.
No, I don't believe he's involved.
V. Oakley said she thinks they took out Prince too, because he's in the
I think so too.
And he spoke to the FBI about things he saw and he did not like at all.
But they also called us conspiracy theorists with the Pizzagate stuff. And that's all in and filed. And it's true. How many grown men you know that texting the other guys that they know about a pizza party?
I remember watching it on CNN because I would watch headline news. So that was Nancy Grace and then that Jane Velez Mitchell. And like right after it, I was like snoozing in and out because then CNN came on right after it. And they were talking about just how stupid everybody is. And I was like, who's stupid?
I want to be stupid. I want to be stupid. Let
Well,
me be stupid.
I couldn't figure out. Okay, let me tell you how stupid I am. Because when I was watching all this, I didn't know what an emoji was. I'm like, what are they talking about? I'm thinking it's like some kind of venereal disease or a name of someone's pet. And they're like, and they talk in emojis. And he was like, and this is what they're trying to tell you. Now we have the files. And
Now it's making sense.
I'm like, what is this emoji? What are you talking about?
And Chinese cookies, hot dogs. These people are they're nuts. They're nuts.
Mirror V said, ignorance is truly bliss. Sometimes I enjoy not knowing. You know, I feel that way too.
He's a baby. I can't put my head in the sand. I can't look away. If they're suffering, and how if we don't say something, then we're culpable. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you want to educate yourself and it's based on a true story, watch the movie Sound of Freedom.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, it's all circled around this.
Oh, I know, but he's a fraud. He's a fraud. He's in on it too.
No, he's not. No, he's
not. Yeah, he is. I'm telling you. How many kids did you say? None.
Oh, really? He got a Congressional Medal of Honor, and they've got pictures of them all together, and he adopted.
Who was doing that? Who was giving that to him?
I'll talk to you about it later.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind.
I'm sorry.
I believe
I'm
everything.
sorry. If I could look away, I would. I don't like to do this.
So you're telling me the tsunami wasn't real either, Susan?
No, that was a thing. Just things aren't always what they seem.
Fuck my life. Damn it, Susan.
Fuck me running, girl. I'm telling you, I've been down the hole and I don't like where it leads.
There was another one. Cinnamon Hot said Chris Cornell. Don't forget about Anthony Bourdain because his is in the
he was killed.
And they said that he just died mysteriously.
No, he didn't. His girlfriend was part of something and he spoke out. Because they did something to her.
And don't get me going on Seth Rice. Boy, I'll tell you what, I changed gears, but I just, for some reason, think it's connected due to what they don't want us to watch.
Yep.
It's 9 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 7 p.m. in Pena County, Arizona. We have breaking news tonight. There are multiple big breaks in this case, including bombshell new video from the FBI. We'll have more on that in a moment with Kash Patel, the FBI director. Also tonight, major law enforcement activity now underway. 2 armored SWAT vehicles departed a Pima County Sheriff's parking lot, along with a local bomb squad. That was just a few hours ago. And moments ago, the bomb squad did return, according to reports from the ground. This activity is somehow related to the search for Nancy Guthrie. Meanwhile, Harvey Levin, who will join us in less than a minute, he is reporting activity for the very first time on the...
All right. Now I'm getting real off track. Do you remember when the helicopter came down and TMZ was the first one there and Kobe Bryant was dead?
Wonder how that happened.
And his daughter, the pilot, all of them. And when his wife, Vanessa Bryant, sued TMZ, they settled out of court for an undisclosed amount and would not open any of the files up.
Another NDA, huh? Is it NDA? Non-disclosure agreement? Yeah.
I think it's if you want your effing money, you're going to shut your mouth. Yep. Kobe Bryant spoke about something with the Epstein files. And he spoke about how basically P. Diddy was trying to be bigger than Epstein. Well, we know where P. Diddy is right now.
Yeah.
And he was
not near long enough.
he was disgusted with it because he has four girls. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He might treat his wife like shit. And so all of a sudden the helicopter, which they could find no mechanical failures with, barely takes off and is like boom down, and TMZ is like right there.
Think they're sending a message?
Could be. Could be. Could be.
I see patterns.
And when you see patterns, I have to go to bed for a week.
Bitcoin account linked to the initial ransom demand earlier today. Well, this nightmare finally came to life. They had their first break in the case, a haunting image that will send chills down your spine. The FBI successfully recovered this video from Nancy Guthrie's doorbell camera. It shows a menacing suspect at Nancy Guthrie's front door wearing a ski mask, gloves, backpack, appears to be holstering a gun in the front of his pants. If you take a close look, because the Guthrie family and the FBI are now asking once again the public for any and all help in identifying this person that we will be putting up throughout the hour. Savannah Guthrie.
I've got all day for this. I'm telling you, because I mean, everything they talk about, one thing after another, those damn sultans that they were talking about yesterday about made me like fall off my chair. Erica said Aaron Carter was going to expose Diddy. Look what happened to him. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Posted this on Instagram with the caption, quote, "We believe she is still alive. Bring her home." So again, take a very close look. What do you see in these images? Do you recognize the face there? And what about the clothes? If this person looks familiar to you, possibly familiar, please contact the FBI or the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Again, the FBI Director Kash Patel will join us in a moment. First, joining us now on all of tonight's breaking news, TMZ founder, friend of the program, our friend Harvey Levin is with us. He's done great work here. Okay, you've been following from the initial ransom letter that you received at TMZ. You had been following this Bitcoin account. Okay, we got the first hit of activity about, I saw in your...
Stacy goes, terrifying. I think I need to work on keeping my mouth shut a little better. I say you just keep your mouth going.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Keep talking. Keep talking. You know
I
what?
can't be the only crazy one.
Do you know what happened last night, Susan? I just happened to, I mean, I slept in this morning, which never happens to me. But you know, I was worn out yesterday. I didn't tell you, but I have a granddaughter now. So anyway, it was all I could do to wake up. So I was just kind of catching up, you know, watching, you know, the local news. A bunch of kids in Jinx, Oklahoma decided to be cute to walk out and protest ICE. And it's not one of those like, let's just meet at the pole and pray, those type of things, you know, where it's organized by teachers. And they were all over. They were down by Hugo's Diner. They were at the Sonic. I mean, they were everywhere. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You must be kidding me. Okay, whatever. That's dangerous to let kids during a school day just go wander around. So they had a school board meeting last night, and you wouldn't believe all the pissed off taxpayers.
You think?
And parents going, are you telling me we're paying for them just to walk out? Every one of them got in-house suspension.
Teacher should have been fired.
I don't even know what happened there. I didn't ask.
You can't even get your own kids out of school without signing them out, and you're going to tell me the teacher walked their asses down there?
Mm-hmm.
No. Somebody had to the rules.
No, actually, the teacher wasn't with them. But she had been saying some things that I think might have got them going. That's just a rumor mill. I'm not paying too much attention to that. You know, you have a constitutional right when you turn 18 and you're able to vote.
Yeah.
Until then, your parents' constitutional rights are yours. I'm not saying children have no rights. And so I'm just like, it was like literally pulling teeth to get out of school. Like my mom would come in, sign me out. We would go get my braces tightened, bring me back in, and they just all walk out. And I'm like, that is nuts. So they have a lot of stuff going on right now. I mean, all the kids are getting in-house suspension for a while. And
that sounds like much of a punishment, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, you get it worse at home.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Considering how pissed off those parents were, saying, we did not sign anything for this.
In school suspension is just like a study hall, basically.
Yeah, I know.
You sit around and talk. No.
Yeah, you're going to get it worse at home. Mm-hmm. And then all those parents show up and they're like, we want to know who's responsible for this. What if they had gotten hit by a car?
Yeah.
Snapped, ran away. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Your website about 4:30, 4:35 today, correct?
It was just before 4 o'clock LA time, 7 o'clock Eastern time. There was activity for the first time, Sean, in that Bitcoin account, the link of which is in that first ransom letter that we obtained. We've been checking it every few minutes, and for the first time it surfaced.
It seems like whoever this person is that sent you and TMZ that letter had been very careful up to this point. Now, KGUN Channel 9 out in Tucson is also confirming the activity in the account. They say the activity is less than $300. Can you confirm that?
So there are reasons that I have been careful with my words.
Okay, so TMZ is investigating this, okay? And it's been reported on the Tucson News and a few other affiliates, I will say, according to Jules. Would it not be easy to track who sent it? Because they are acting like they don't know who sent the $300. They have no idea.
They don't have an IP address. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know what bank it's going to. They don't know what card. They have no idea.
What good is an IT group or fraud? There's places that can figure these things out.
And it obviously has to do with sourcing, and I am just not at liberty to talk about amounts right now, Sean. I just, this is a complicated case, and we gave our word on something, and we're going to stick by that.
I totally respect that, and we don't want to do anything that's going to hurt the investigation or this case in any way. Okay, let's look at this development today. I think it's the biggest break, the only break we've really had since this began 10 days ago. When you look at that footage, what do you see? What are you looking at? And when you put it together with things that only you know because you got the original ransom letter, what do you put together?
Well, it's a little bit.
Okay. So Sean Hannity said, since you got the original ransom letter.
Well, I thought his was the fake one.
Yeah. And he said.
He's not at liberty to discuss it.
He's
Nothing
not
to say here.
Amounts or anything like that. Now, just who we're dealing with. This is TMZ. Okay.
It's Harvey who was in the files.
He got the original ransom letter to his heavily populated email. Okay. Someone said on Tuesday, oh, here's their email. Oh, okay. Most everything goes to spam unless there is an attachment to it. That has been said for a long time. They want celebrity pictures. They want things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want
all the dirty laundry.
They want that. I mean, they want some supermodel walking down the beach with her tampon string hanging out. They want things like that.
Yeah.
Everything else, it just goes to spam and they find it. But they got this real quick.
Wonder why that is. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to see over here. We're going to be moving everything over there, right in plain sight. But you're looking over here because we're covering things up and making it look fishy. But we're moving this in plain sight, and you're not paying attention because you're busy over there looking at the flashy items that they're trying to disguise. I'm sorry. I know it sounds crazy.
I think we've all heard it for months now.
But when you say it, you sound crazy. And it's designed that way. So nobody pays attention to you because you sound crazy.
Well, you're going to see crazy in a minute because as you're saying all that, I was sending a bunch of pictures of you to TMZ. So we're going to see what they really
Let's not do that. I don't need to know.
That this letter, Sean, is so well constructed. I read it and think this is a really intelligent person who knows how to express a thought. They have thought this out. They are to the point. They cover everything they need to cover. And then you look at this, and there's something bumbling about it, where the person who is shown right there took enough care to completely cover himself, except for seeing a mustache and either a goatee or a beard. And yet he doesn't realize that there's a camera on that door. And that suddenly surprises him enough that he has to go over, stoop down, and grab some brush to try and cover the camera. That doesn't align to me with somebody as methodical as what I believe the person who wrote that note. I will tell you a couple of other things that our sources who are directly involved in this investigation tell us that this was not video that was withheld. The authorities received it today, and they released it almost immediately. We also know that the authorities are working under the operative theory is that whoever did this lives in the Tucson television area.
Okay, you can clearly see from the mask that someone has a tiny patch of hair on his chin.
I don't even care about that. They've got backpacks. Don't you think that they would have a can of spray paint in that backpack or something to put over the cameras? They wanted someone to see that there's somebody out there and they're snooping around. And who's next? Go ahead and open your mouth. Who's next?
Well, it's going to be you because I already sent your pictures to TMZ, and don't worry, I got you. Okay, but look at this.
But I don't hold them in power. I can't do them any harm because people think I'm crazy.
There's the son-in-law. Oh, you better calm down. No.
I'm telling you. Nobody's going to believe you.
No, to be quite honest, let's go ahead and let's do an unofficial poll. How long would it take for kidnappers to release Susan?
They wouldn't take me. They ain't got nothing to gain.
Would she?
Nobody's got any money.
Would they just say, I'm tired of hearing her mouth and just go and drop her off at the Burger King? What would they do? Okay, look at the guy on your screen on the left. He has a little soul patch there.
So that's half of the American men. That's not enough to go off of.
Well, I am just doing what's called deductive reasoning.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, even if it is him, there's not enough evidence.
Quit bothering me. I'm trying to figure out how much is still.
I'm sorry. You want me to drop down,
One of
love?
the big reasons authorities believe this is
No, never.
Okay. Okay.
something we've talked about, which is that they sent the ransom letters, both the first and the second, to one or two of the television stations in Tucson, as opposed to sending it, say, to NBC, which is Savannah Guthrie's employer. So they feel there's a connection there. And also in that first ransom letter, it says, we will bring her back to Tucson within 12 hours of receiving payment. That's about a 700-mile radius if you think the car would go 60 miles an hour. But authorities were...
But he wasn't giving up information about the letter, remember?
That's the thing. But they were like, they believe that someone around there will bring her back within 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that would mean, well, first off, like real kidnappings for ransom.
Yeah.
They don't really say it's going to take me 12 hours because, you know, I'm really
Yeah,
busy.
no, they said give us our money or she's dead. That's all they say. They don't give any roundabouts when they're going to return her.
And then they just put her somewhere. But
that's laughable. That's laughable.
I mean, it's specific. It is specific. 12 hours. Let's see. Look at this real quick. Okay, from where I'm sitting right now, it would take me 16 hours to get to Tucson. But they're assuming the person is right around Tucson because after they get the money, they're going to sit there and they're going to make some food, take a nap, catch up on YouTube or Netflix, finish their last movie, and then take her back. Because as Harvey said, just right around there.
Yeah, now, because, you know, when they bring her back, it's not like people are going to be watching for them. Come on. These people are freaking insane.
So when I get the money, I'll have her back in 12 hours. And I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting here going, if I left right now from my house in Glenpool, Oklahoma, and took off driving, I would be in Tucson in 16 hours.
Mm.
Okay?
Okay.
However, they're saying that this letter that TMZ got said that, you know, basically once they get the money, they'll have her delivered in 12 hours. Okay.
Why not say, we'll tell you where she is in 12 hours so we can get away?
Why not just get your fucking money and do what other kidnappers do and turn her out somewhere and somebody will find her?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why would they say they're going to bring her back? That makes no sense.
Pat said she wants you to disguise your words.
Sorry, what did I say?
She wasn't saying it to me. This is all on you, girlfriend.
It
says, we will bring her back to Tucson within 12 hours of receiving payment. That's about a 700-mile radius if you think the car would go 60 miles an hour. But authorities, we're told, and by people involved in this, believe this is somebody in that area.
Math ain't mathin', okay? And I hate the word ain't. Okay, Pat just doubled down and said, yeah, it's you. It's not me. Anyway, it's a 700-mile radius. Now, still doesn't take 12 hours or within 12 hours. And nobody would timeline like that while they're waiting on the money.
It makes no sense.
Around the Tucson television area.
So if the person in that video, and when you put together the video And what we're seeing, the images we're seeing with the letter that you put eyeballs on, and it doesn't really align with the sophistication of that letter. I've got to imagine it wouldn't align with a theory that it's somebody that knows Nancy Guthrie well, because if they did, they would have known that camera's there, if in fact they really are surprised by the camera, no?
I mean, I think that's a really good point, that if this was somebody who cased Nancy's house, I would think one of the first things they would see is, and look for, is some sort of a camera on that door. So look, I talked to one person involved in this case today, and I raised exactly that point. And the response I get back was, you cannot always use logic and reason in figuring things like this out. And I think that's true, that, you know, in some ways, you know, you're guilty of overanalyzing sometimes when you expect everybody to make the precise, rational move. And that just isn't always the case. So I can't explain that, Sean. You know, it does speak to somebody who didn't know that door before coming there in the first instance. But again, even if you don't know the door, everybody knows it's common to have those cameras.
Yeah, it's very common to have those cameras. And I did notice, I think it was on Megyn Kelly, that even though they said they had to put terabytes together, it's not grainy. It's nothing like that. We saw some videos of Gannon Stout, okay? Very, very grainy. It almost looked like you were watching like white noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this looks like a production. And in the top right corner, it says Nest. So I thought you said there was no subscription.
We have a Wise camera. We bought it because you didn't need a subscription. And it went straight to a website, and it filmed day and night. It would do still photos, and then they changed it where you had to pay for a subscription, and we just let it go, but it would still send the still photos to the website, and then it updated and everything went black.
Very interesting. I mean, you remember the Jodi Arias case? Where they washed the camera and the film, and I mean, I'm not the film, but all the digital and everything. And they had the pictures, and that camera was ruined. And they had the pictures developed where they could see within 18 hours. But you're telling me a woman that does have a subscription, it took them 11 days to produce this.
Yeah.
If you know this person, please call. I'm like, yeah, looks just like Linda. I'm really going to have to.
But I still go to what are they carrying in their backpacks?
Well, that's a good question as well.
Because both of them are wearing them.
That's a very good
question. He's wearing a holster, so it's not a pew-pew back there.
No.
Tools of the trade. You black out the cameras. Why didn't they do that? Because they wanted you to see. You know, they didn't show any pictures of them coming out of the house with her. Why is that?
Well, and that's very interesting considering they said that they took the camera. Interesting.
It would still go to the website where these were, wouldn't it? And what about the one on top of the house?
And the guy's backpack, or girl, I don't know, is stuffed. Like those Jehovah's Witnesses that come by and try to give me pamphlets all the time. They've always got those big ass backpacks on, but no ski masks. And they've got tons of Jehovah's Witness pamphlets to give me.
Yeah. I'm smelling things. And I can't look away. It's all connected.
The backpack is from Walmart. Oh, okay. Okay.
It still has room for a spray can.
Okay. Well, then get on it. Then get on it.
Before coming there in the first instance. But again, even if you don't know the door, everybody knows it's common to have those cameras. And if you take the time to completely cover yourself, with the exception of a little bit of a beard and a mustache, then wouldn't you think through, gee, there might be a doorbell there too? And at least when you walk up to the door, you have something in your hand to cover it with, as opposed to being surprised by it and then walking back to the garden area and grabbing some brush.
Harvey, it's obvious you're working very closely with law enforcement and have been from day one. And by the way, I totally admire your help, your cooperation.
Is he?
From day one? From day
Is
one?
he really working with law enforcement, or is he working with somebody trying to get everybody shut up?
Why was he the first one to break this on Sunday? Savannah's mother goes missing. We were talking about it in Discord. I'm like, oh my gosh, not another silver alert. You know, like sometimes people they'll wander off and they'll get lost, or, I didn't know if she had dementia, Alzheimer's, maybe she's low on blood sugar. I mean, I didn't know at the time. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is horrible. They'll find her fast. I mean, it's Savannah Guthrie's mom, FFS. But I mean, it's just like Kobe Bryant's helicopter thing. I mean, they were there as it was crashing. And people say, oh, it's because they follow Kobe around all the time. Oh my God, he is so popular. Well, no. I mean, of course he's popular, but they drove 2 hours away to take this helicopter. And TMZ was there before them. And don't be telling me that Kobe decided to F up the helicopter and kill his daughter for TMZ to get some ratings.
Right.
I'm grateful for it. I think most Americans are as well. And keeping their confidence and not giving out specific details. Last exit question, and you don't really even have to answer it. Are there things that maybe you now know that give you more confidence that we're getting close?
Excuse me. Sandy said, bet that's what the sheriff thought at first. It's definitely what law enforcement thought, because they say the 911 call came in at 12:03 p.m. Law enforcement got there at 2:19 p.m. So they weren't that concerned.
And it doesn't strike anybody strange that they released the crime scene so quick?
That's so weird. I'm telling you. And all I could relate it to is they don't want that tacky stuff up in a nice neighborhood. But then they put it back up, they take it down. They put it back up, they take it down.
So anything found has been contaminated and maybe planted. Who knows?
Well, that glove makes zero sense.
Now you're catching on.
The minute I heard they just happened to find a glove, and I'm like, really?
And they wait until after everybody's been over that property to take dog food? That makes no sense. And if it doesn't
Their
make
confidence
sense,
and not giving out specific details. Last exit question, and you don't really even have to answer it. Are there things that maybe you now know that give you more confidence that we're getting close here to finding this person that you may not be able to talk about publicly?
Yeah, I mean, there is activity, much more activity than there was a couple of days ago. It seemed like authorities were stalled until really today. And a lot is going on. As you said, we are told the same thing, that these SWAT and bomb squad movements relate specifically to the Nancy Guthrie case. Whether they are close to figuring it out, I think that there are things that law enforcement is doing right now.
That is so crazy that you brought this up, Curious Country Girl. So crazy. Because the most detectable thing, unless you have a tattoo that has your name and date of birth on your body, is your eyes. So if you're really trying to pull a big one, you would cover your eyes. You know what American Airlines, they have time cards, I guess, but they do a retinal scan. Everybody, even it doesn't look that way, has a totally different shape of eyes.
I'll agree with that. I'm thinking about that glove. There'll be DNA in it. Maybe even
I can't hear you, Susan.
I said I'm thinking about that glove. There will be DNA in it, or at least fingerprints, I would think.
Well, I would think all the above.
Yeah.
I would think where they found the glove would be DNA. Like I said, I'm a walking crime scene.
Yeah.
I leave hair everywhere. I have skin that chafes off. I mean, I don't notice it, you know, and it happens to everybody. I mean, we leave our print everywhere.
There's touch DNA. There's just sloughing of your skin, fingerprints, hair.
That are not surefire things to find the person, but they have a plan, I think.
Okay. Harvey Levin, you've had phenomenal coverage. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing everything with our audience. Hey, Sean Hannity here.
I mean, what to do?
Yeah.
This is nuts. And I agree with Michelle After Dark that said the math ain't math. We've had, I can't tell you how many people come out and say kidnappings are quick. They're normally 72 hours.
Yeah.
And if they go further than that, we bring in a hostage negotiator, which, as much as people don't like him, Kash Patel's a really good hostage negotiator. There was no hostage to negotiate. No.
No.
It wasn't.
That we know of. They might be holding that back. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm at this point where I think I know what's going on. And I have just about had it. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to see you guys over in Discord because I want to continue this conversation. Can't do it right here because I'm going to make a phone call to my granddaughter. She's getting to where she can answer the phone when I call on FaceTime. My son puts it in the crib because I said, you turn on my show so she can hear me every day. And Kent goes, no. He goes, no, Mom,
No.
we're not.
Especially with me on there. He knows I'm cussing. You don't want that around that baby.
No, I wouldn't do that. But anyway, I'm going to see you guys in Discord. I'm going to go to General Voice after I call and FaceTime with her for a second. And I don't think Nancy is alive either.
Guys, please look at these files. Some of them, be careful though, because some of the stuff has images and it can be seen as child abuse stuff. You know what I mean? And if it's on your computer, you can get in trouble for that. So be careful. But you guys have got to look at this stuff. Make up your own mind. Let's all go crazy together.
Well, let's do it. I mean, you want to do a show tomorrow? I mean, after
I can't tomorrow. You know I can't tomorrow. I have an appointment.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. Susan, she's interviewing at another strip club.
Yeah, I am.
She makes extra money on the side. And I forgot about that. Okay, she got
nobody wants to see that.
nipple rings and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. I don't think she's alive either. I just think,
unfortunately, I don't.
I don't either.
I was hoping, but I really don't.
It's basically the impossible. But you guys aren't the impossible. I hope you have a great day. I will see you over in Discord General after my granddaughter helps me solve this calculus equation. And if not, I will see you back tomorrow for Laura Foley's birthday party.
Yay! Happy birthday!
Love you.